The former FBI director faces indictment, a controversial move? In a dramatic turn of events, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a federal grand jury, marking a significant escalation in President Donald Trump's pursuit of justice against his perceived political foes. This development has sent shockwaves through the political landscape, raising questions and sparking intense debate. Comey, a long-standing adversary of the president, finds himself in uncharted territory as the first senior government official to face federal charges in connection with Trump's largest grievance, the 2016 investigation into potential collusion between Trump's campaign and Russia. "Justice in America," Trump exclaimed on Truth Social, describing Comey as one of the worst human beings this country has ever been exposed to. Comey, the former head of the FBI, now faces charges of making false statements and obstructing a congressional proceeding, carrying a potential prison sentence of up to 5 years if convicted. The charges stem from Comey's testimony to the Senate Judiciary Committee on September 30, 2020. A source revealed to CNN's Jake Tapper that the indictment for lying to Congress is linked to the FBI's Arctic Haze leak investigation, involving classified information that appeared in 4 newspaper articles. During his Senate testimony via Zoom, Comey stated, "I had not authorized someone else to be an anonymous source in news reports." The indictment asserts that this statement was false. Comey responded to the indictment with a defiant message on Instagram saying, "Let's have a trial and keep the faith." He added, "My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent." Attorney General Pam Bondi emphasized, "No one is above the law," reflecting the Department of Justice's commitment to holding powerful individuals accountable for misleading the American people. But here's where it gets controversial. The indictment was presented by Lindsey Halligan, Trump's former personal attorney and the new top prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia. Halligan, who had no career prosecutor support, was the sole Justice Department official to sign the charging documents. During a brief hearing, a judge announced the case against Comey, revealing that 14 jurors agreed to indict him on charges of false statements and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. And this is the part most people miss. Halligan, with no prior grand jury experience, underwent a crash course with DOJ attorneys and FBI officials ahead of the hearing. She participated in numerous practice runs and spent hours preparing the material. Comey is accused of making an alleged false statement to the Senate Judiciary Committee in 2020, despite being asked the same question years earlier under oath. Prosecutors claim Comey authorized a media leak about an FBI investigation via an anonymous source, but then denied it to the Senate. In a 2020 Senate hearing, Senator Ted Cruz confronted Comey with an exchange from 2017 congressional testimony. Cruz quoted Comey's response to Senator Chuck Grassley's question about being an anonymous source. Never. Comey stood by his 2017 testimony when questioned by Cruz. However, the grand jury rejected a third charge against Comey, an alleged false statement to Congress about an alleged plan by Hillary Clinton during the 2016 campaign. This decision is highly unusual in the federal court system. The grand jury did not reach a majority of 12 yes votes out of a possible 23 to indict Comey for this exchange with Senator Lindsey Graham. Comey's son-in-law, Troy A. Edwards, Jr., resigned from his position as a senior national security prosecutor shortly after the indictment. In a letter to Halligan, Edwards wrote, "To uphold my oath to the Constitution and country, I hereby resign as an assistant United States attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia in the Department of Justice, effective immediately." The indictment comes amid concerns raised by Attorney General Bondi and prosecutors about the case. Bondi faces pressure from Trump, who demands criminal charges against his enemies, similar to the charges he faced himself. Attorneys in the Eastern District of Virginia have expressed reservations about seeking the indictment, as reported by ABC News. Bondi had concerns about the case, focusing on Comey's false statements during congressional testimony about Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. However, she believes an indictment is possible. Trump, both publicly and privately, has complained about the numerous criminal cases brought against him while out of office. He has emphasized that the Justice Department should bring the strongest case against his political opponents and let the courts decide the outcome. I just want people to act, and we want to act fast. If they are guilty, or if they should be charged, and we have to do it now. Some within the White House view Halligan's decision to bring the case as a risky move to please Trump. Meanwhile, several Justice Department officials worry about the strength of the case against Comey, while political aides argue that if Trump was prosecuted, Comey should face similar consequences. Comey is expected to be arraigned in federal court in Alexandria, Virginia. On October 9th, the story continues to unfold, leaving many questions unanswered and inviting further discussion and debate. What are your thoughts on this controversial indictment? Do you believe Comey should face these charges? Share your opinions in the comments below.